तब कथामृतम तप्त जीवनम कविभिडीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमंगलम श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जना. Let us resume our discussion on Sri Ramakrishna's spiritual discourses with his intimate devotees at Shampoo in North Kolkata, where he was stationed for the treatment of his throat disease. His intimate householder disciple M. Mahendranath Gupta, the recorder of the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, visited his physician at that time, Sri Mahendralal Sarkar, the famous homeopathic physicist, the physician who was also a great scholar. However, he was not a devotee at that time. He had a scientific bent of mind and he would not believe anything contrary to his own realization. Now, the same person has confessed before M that by being in touch with Sri Ramakrishna, not doing any penance or spiritual activity, simply his company has made me devoid of lust. His passions, lust, attraction for sensual pleasures have vanished. That's what he says here. The doctor said, I too have conquered lust. It's a great saying. डॉक्टर ने कहा, मेरा भी काम भाव दूर हो गया है. Master Moshe has narrated श्री रामकृष्ण के पास जो लोग आते हैं उनमें बहुत ने काम को जीत लिया है. डॉक्टर हैज कंट्रीब्यूटेड हिज रियलाइजेशन सेइंग, मेरा भी काम भाव दूर हो गया है, इतना समझ लेना. ही हैज कन्फेस्ड हिज ओन रियलाइजेशन. Now then मास्टर सेड, मैंने कहा आप तो बड़े आदमी हैं, अर्थात यू आर ए कल्चर्ड पर्सन, बड़े हैं, पढ़े हैं, आपकी बहुत शिक्षा है, दीक्षा है, बड़े आदमी है, आपने काम को जीत लिया तो कोई आश्चर्य की बात नहीं है. शूद्र प्राणियों भी उनके पास रहकर इंद्रियों को जीतने की शक्ति आ रही है. यही आश्चर्य है. We have been discussing this point for the last couple of weeks, and it is worth being discussed at length. I told him that many of those who come to you, that is, come to Sri Ramakrishna, have conquered lust. It is no wonder that a person like Mandalal Sarkar have conquered lust, but the amazing thing is that under his influence, that is under the influence of Sri Ramakrishna, even insignificant creatures have conquered it. Now, what is the big deal about it? What is the big statement? We have been discussing that the goal of our life is to have realization of the self, who we are. It is told that we are Satchidanand, existence absolute, bliss absolute, knowledge absolute. That is our real nature. Unfortunately, when we look at the reality, we look at ourselves, we feel that we are bound to die. We have a lot of miseries in the world, in the life, and we have a lot to know. Neither we are knowledge absolute, nor we are bliss absolute, nor existence absolute. So, not able to match the reality with the appearance. We know who we are, but we are being told that we have an infinite dimension. The goal of life is to realize our infinite dimension. In whatever name you may call it God realization, self realization, Brahmanubhuti, etc. But the end remains the same, that we know ourselves. Now, what is the impediment, obstacle? What stands in the way? Because we are covered with ignorance. Our knowledge is covered. That stops us to know what we are. This we discussed, that this veil of ignorance has been imposed on us by no other than God. God has kept this ignorance within us so that we may not be able to know Him. Bhagavan says, Devi Hesha Gunamai Mama Maya Durattaya. In the Bhagavad Gita, this Maya, this veil of ignorance, is almost impossible to remove. Why? Because it is alokik, Daivi, and Gunamai, made of thin gunas. So God has created us, we are all divine, but God has covered our divinity with a veil of ignorance. So our job is to remove this ignorance, to cut asunder this veil and realize who we are. As I said, the impediment on the way is the veil of ignorance, which is called Maya, ignorance. Try whatever way you may, but we are not able to remove this veil of ignorance on our own. This exercise, gymnastic, we are supposed to do. Let us try. It's not that this is the first birth we have got, but innumerable births have already been spent before in our earlier existence. We were trying births after births to remove the veil of ignorance, but we cannot. It cannot be done on our own. That is a great lesson to learn. अपने बलबूते हम ये अज्ञान का अंधकार हटाने में असमर्थ है. We cannot remove this veil of ignorance because it is imposed by God Himself. Only He can remove it. And He has given a link How we can remove it? In the same verse, he says, Daivi Shesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Durattaya, but Mam Evaja Prabhadyante Maya Metam Tarantite. If somehow someone comes to me, takes refuge in me, then I will remove this veil of ignorance. Last week we ended with this note that God is calling everyone. Come, all ye that are heavily laden, come unto me, I will give you rest. So all we have to do, we have to approach God, because God is saying, whoever comes to me, I will steer him clear. तो फर्स्ट हमें जानना जरूरी है कि भगवान के सिवा हमारा कोई चारा नहीं है. Why God is necessary in our life, we have to understand. Most people have no business with God, and they even criticize us that why they are calling on God, because भगवान के सिवा कोई चारा नहीं है. You try whatever way you can do, from pillar to post, but that ignorance cannot be removed. So the solution is, we call on God. That is the method. That is, you take refuge in Him. Now this has to be clearly, first of all, accepted, and then inquired how it can be implemented in our life. How we can take refuge in God. Now one statement has been said, that God is present within all of us. If it is not only present in me, it is present in all. So God is within and without. But we neither see God in or nor we see God outside. The present परिस्थिति ऐसी है, ना भीतर में ना बाहर में कहीं भगवान को दिखाई नहीं पड़ रहा है. दुनिया को दिखाई पड़ रहा है जो कि परिवर्तनशील है. What is the difference between this world and this God? World is samsar, sammak saratiti samsar. World is ever changeable. दुनिया स्थिर नहीं रहता है, आज एक प्रकार काल एक प्रकार. But God is unchangeable. That's why when you stick to God, then we don't have to leave anything. We can continue forever, but not with the world. Everything is changing. So now in the changeful world, the unchangeable entity is God. He is within us, within all of us. So the secret is, first we accept it. कुछ स्वीकार किया जाए कि हमारे भीतर ईश्वर विद्यमान है, भले ही हमें दिखाई नहीं पड़ रहा है, बट हमारे भीतर है, सबके भीतर भी है. When we are able to see God within us and without us, then the job is over. That's why Sri Ramakrishna says, the goal of life is to see God. भगवान को दर्शन करना. I quoted a verse from Bhagavad Gita where he says कि विषया विनिवर्तन्ते निराहारस्य देहिनः रसो वर्जम रसप्यस्य परम दृष्ट्वा निवर्तते. Suppose you retire from the society, you go to a cage or a forest or a mountain and be away from the sensual world. Even then, the memory of the sensual pleasures will remain in us and drag us toward the material plane. That is not the solution. How is the solution? Raso varjam rasa pasya param drishtva nibhati. Once we see God, then once for all, this attraction for sensual pleasures are over. That is the point. But our approach is negative. We want to take our mind away from the sensual world and direct it to God. That is called spiritual practice, which is counterproductive. ये कभी होने वाला नहीं है. मन को कभी विषय से हटा के ईश्वर के पास देने में हम लोग संभव नहीं होगा. Why? Because mind has a natural attraction towards sensual pleasures. Last time I gave an example. a piece of magnet and a piece of iron. Iron is always attracted by the magnet. However much you keep the iron filing away, but it automatically will go. ये स्वाभाविक आकर्षण है. वैसे ही हमारे इंद्रियां के साथ इंद्रियों का विषय, the sensual world and the sense organs are eternally connected with each other. They are constantly attracting each other, cannot be separated. This has to be first understood. It's futile, ये कभी होगा नहीं. So then how it can be done? Intelligently it should be done. If a piece of iron is attracted towards magnet, it cannot be stopped. But the solution is you bring a bigger magnet. अगर बिगर मैग्नेट आ जाएगा तो उनका आकर्षणी क्षमता और ज़्यादा होगा, तो आयरन फाइलिंग वो छोटा वाला छोड़ के बड़ा वाला में चले जाएंगे. दिस इज द सॉल्यूशन. सो दुनिया से हमको वैराग्य होगा नहीं. वी कैनॉट टेक मोर वी ट्राई मोर विल गेट एंटेंगल. जितना भी चाहोगे उतना फंस जाओगे. तो प्रक्रिया ना किया जाए होगा नहीं. तो कैसे होगा? You bring a bigger magnet which is God. I will explain. Now, if the God is presented, then in comparison with the world and the God, God is more attractive. God has three dimensions which the world doesn't have. First is God is unchangeable, but the world is changing. God has infinite joy, world is finite joy. And worldly joy ends up with grief. There is no grief with divine joy. So, virtually, we orient our mind towards God. So, when our mind gets attached with God, then automatically the attraction for the world gets nullified. The solution is that we develop attachment to God so that detachment to the world becomes automatic. ईश्वर से अनुरक्ति ही विषय से विरक्ति का उपाय है. Unless we take our mind away from the lust, mind does not go to God. You cannot go to North Pole and South Pole simultaneously. God is North Pole and sensual pleasures is South Pole. And you are automatically being attracted towards South Pole. How can you go to North Pole? So all you have to do, we have to just change our direction. North Pole as a bigger magnet, South Pole as a smaller magnet. Then the moment you orient your attention towards God, then without your any effort, it will go. The piece of iron goes to magnet, not with the help of anyone, is automatic. So our connection with God is automatic. All you have to do is we have to orient ourselves towards God, because it is a bigger piece of magnet. In the Bhagavad Gita says, Jam labdva chaparam labham mannate nadhikam tata jasme sthito nadukhena gurunapi vichaldate. Tang vidya dukkha sanjoga viyagam sanischayana yukta jogo anirvinna chetasa. We have to pursue that section of learning by following which we get a glimpse to this infinite world of joy. So God is within and God is without. So now, God is within, we are saying continuously, but inside there is no God seen. Then how to make it possible in our life? That is by repetition of God's name. We have to understand the amazing factor in our life by a song Ram Prasad Sen has sung, the great devotee of Mother Kali. We have seen the image of Mother Kali. Mother Kali's image is a black complexion. Kali wali hai, and apparently it does not look very attractive. भयानक मूर्ति है. काली का मूर्ति आप अगर जानते हैं, काली पूजा होने वाला है, दिवाली. भयानक मूर्ति है. कराल वदना मुंडमाला is not at all a very attractive form. So the devotee of Mother Kali, Ram Prasad Sen, sings a song. Now he says in Bengali, I will translate. It's a very famous song. भाव की भेवे पौराण गेलो जार नामे हरे काल पदे महाकाल तार केनो ए रूपो होलो. We always feel that a white complexion is attractive. We always feel that all the Devis, Durga, Saraswati, etc., they are all very white complexion. Gauravarna hai. Kali to a black complexion, which is denounced in the world. But the goddess has a black complexion. Now the singer is saying that I wondered that why after all goddess took this dark, ugly form. Now is a question. She says, কালো রূপ অনেক আছে এ বড় আশ্চর্য কালো যারে যাদের হৃদ কমলে রাখনে পড়ে হৃদয় পদ্ম করে আলো. There are many black complexion forms, but this is very special. When we think of her within the heart, then we get illumined. Then we know ourselves. Further she says, नामे काली रूपे काली कालो होतो अधिक कालो যারে রীত মাজারে চিন্তক অন্য রূপ নালাকে ভালো. This is the point. I wonder when I think of this Mother Kali, then my whole mind gets attracted towards that mother. Why? Because that mother makes me confront to my real nature. It's a realization of the aspirant for God. Prasad, but now how to get at meditation? The secret, he says, প্রসাদ বলে কুতূহলে এমন মেয়ে কোথায় ছিল যারে না দেখে নাম শুনে কানে মন গিয়ে তাই লিপ্ত হলো. The singer, this aspirant, the sadhak, is telling, where was this person, this lady hidden so far? The secret is, when I think of her, when I hear about her name, my mind gets automatically attracted towards God. This is the secret. We have not seen God, but when we repeat His name, then God gets revealed. So this is the solution. We have to get rid of our lust, and the easiest way is to think of God. God descends on earth as a human being so that we can think of Him more easily than thinking of all gods and goddesses. So here is another way Sri Ramakrishna is saying that God descends on earth as an avatar, as He descended as Sri Ramakrishna. So those very ordinary people, those who came in touch with Sri Ramakrishna, they are not required to do long penance or do any rigorous spiritual discipline. Simply by remembering Him, simply by thinking of him, simply by repeating his name, his mind is getting attracted towards divine and the lust gets diffused. This is the secret M is telling to Mahendra Lal. That the benefit of keeping in touch with the incarnation of God is our attraction towards the sense pleasures gets diffused and we get spiritually oriented towards ourselves. So then we know who we are. We start respecting ourselves. That is the beginning of spiritual life. We don't respect ourselves. Atma Marjada nahi hai. We don't believe ourselves. First of all, that belief has to be restored. If anybody asks us, who are you? You say, I am a sinner. It is a sin to call you a sinner, Swami Vivekananda says. How dare you call you a sinner? God is seated within you, every one of us. Is it not a sin to call that we are a sinner? When God is seated within us, we are all divine by birth. Only thing we have to realize our divinity. The first step to realization is the belief, conviction, self-confidence, the acceptance of this information. Before verification, you cannot say it is bogus. Verify. But when it is being told that we are divine, first of all accept it as a preliminary truth that I am divine. Then start realizing your divinity. And the secret is that believe your divinity and be in touch with an incarnation of God. Finished. God descends on earth, भगवान धराधाम में आते हैं ताकि हम भगवान को अवलंबन करते हुए भगवान को प्राप्त कर सके. सिंपल मैटर. भगवान न केवल एक बार आ रहे हैं, बारंबार आ रहे हैं. ही केम एज रामा, ही केम एज श्री कृष्णा, ही केम एज बुद्ध, चैतन्य, सो मेनी. Recently he came as Sri Ramakrishna. They are not ordinary people, they are not ordinary saints. They come in disguise. They don't come with a big advertisement. They look, I am a God. But you have to find him out. When Ramachandra came, then nobody could realize that he was God incarnate. Only 12 rishis, it is told in Ramayana, only 12 rishis could understand that this is God. Innumerable rishis were there. Ramachandra, during his Banavas, he went to the kutiyas of rishis to make pranam. उन लोग देख के बताते हैं, देखो राम, हम सुने हैं कि दशरथ का नंदन भगवान रूप से आए हैं, लेकिन हम लोग विश्वास करने में असमर्थ हूँ. वी कैनॉट बिलीव दैट यू आर गॉड. रामचंद्र प्रणाम करके मुस्कुराते हुए चले जा रहे हैं. Because it is his maya. He doesn't want everybody finds him out. Only the fortunate ones, they will find him out and they will steer clear. Sri Ramakrishna is saying, through him, that the easiest way to get away from this veil of ignorance is to believe in the incarnation of God, take his help and go out. How to take his help? Repeat his name. Think of him. Think of God, you will develop an adherence, an attraction towards him. That's why he says that we have not seen God, but by repeating his name, we'll get attracted towards him and the matter is over. So the solution is, when God has incarnated as in a human being, take hold of this human being form, think of his life, think of his work, and that will orient our life in a divine pattern, and we become liberated. We become away. Do not worry about our feelings. Everyone has the attraction of sense objects for our sense organs. That is automatic. Let us not worry about it. Let us establish a relation with the divine. Divine is within, but we cannot realize. The first thing is to believe in God, in an incarnation of God. Then we see Him seated within us, and then next step, we see the same God outside us. That is the ultimate realization. That's why Swami Vivekananda established this Ramakrishna order with a twin motto. Atmana mokshartham jagat hitaya cha. First see God within and then see God outside. Seeing God outside, serve the God. Seeing God within, respect yourself. Think of yourself as divine every moment. We are not sinners. We are not here beggars. We are here givers. What to give? We have infinite love, infinite energy, infinite seva. Go on giving. More you give, the more the inner joy gets replenished. Swami Vivekananda says, जगत में सदैव दाता का आसन ग्रहण करो, कुछ मांगो नहीं. डू नॉट बी ए बेगर, गो ऑन गिविंग. प्रश्न होता है कहाँ से देंगे? सीक्रेट इज द मोर यू गिव, द मोर इट इज रिप्लेनिश्ड. बिकॉज वी आर डिवाइन, we have to realize our divinity, and the secret is we have to be in touch with the divine incarnation of God to realize our identity with God. This is the benefit of studying Sri Ramakrishna's words and life. We are studying the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. It is not an ordinary book. The book of God. When you study Bhagavad Gita, it is a book of God. Similarly, we are studying Sri Ramakrishna's life, and M says, as corroborated by the experience of Mahendralal Sarkar, we see a reality, sabut mil raha hai, get a reality that Mahendralal Sarkar was not a religious person. He was an ordinary doctor. But moment he got rid of this attraction for lust, then what happens? He realizes God. The moment the veil of ignorance removes, then you see God face to face. What is standing in the way? This veil of ignorance, veil of maya, veil of this attraction of our sense organs to the sense pleasures. When that is removed, then we realize God automatically. ईश्वर में अनुरक्ति ही विषय से विरक्ति है. That he has done how? By keeping in touch, keeping in company with Sri Ramakrishna. Now Sri Ramakrishna is not physically present now, but he is present in his thought, in his teachings, in his life. So when we study his life, his teachings, his message, then our life becomes divine, and we realize our identity with the divine and finish the game, become successful. We'll continue further this topic in our next Sunday class. निरंजनम नित्यम अनंत रूपम भक्तानुकंपाधृत विग्रहम वै ईशावतारम परमेशमिड्यम तम रामकृष्णं शिरसा नमाम. ओम शांति शांति शांति. हरि ओम तत्सत्. श्री रामकृष्णार्पणमस्तु. If you have any question, please go ahead. Yes, आइए. तो इसको माइक में बताओ.
गुरु जी सादर प्रणाम, चरण स्पर्श.
यस, नमस्कार.
जैसा कि सर्वविदित है कि आपका प्रवचन सभी को अच्छा लगता है, एक क्वेश्चन पल रहा है मेरे मस्तिष्क में, वो ये है अवतार और जन्म की जो अवधारणा है उसमें डिफरेंस क्या है?
बताओ. ठीक है.
अवतार और जन्म, कुछ लोगों का अवतार होता है, कुछ लोगों का जन्म माना जाता है, इसमें क्या डिफरेंस रहता है?
माइक दे दीजिए. चलो सुनाई नहीं पा। हेलो, यू टेल मी, आई विल एक्सप्लेन। आपका प्रश्न क्या है? व्हाट डिड यू आस्क?
अवतार और धर्म और जन्म में क्या अंतर है?
अवतार और मनुष्य जन्म में क्या प्रश्न क्या है?
कुछ लोगों का अवतार होता है, कुछ लोगों को धर्म और जन्म होता है, तो जन्म और अवतार में क्या अंतर है?
ठीक, देखिए, हिज क्वेश्चन इज वेरी जेन्युइन। ही सेज दैट अवतार और जन्म में क्या फर्क है। अर्थात अवतार इज ए बर्थ ऑफ गॉड एंड इंसान का भी जन्म होता है, तो अवतार का जन्म और साधारण व्यक्ति के जन्म में फर्क क्या है? वेरी जेन्युइन क्वेश्चन। नाउ भगवान सेज दैट अवतार का जन्म और मनुष्य का जन्म में फर्क है, क्योंकि अवतार का जन्म एक लीला है। अवतार कभी जन्म नहीं लेते हैं। बहुत अच्छा प्रश्न किया है। वी आर बॉर्न, वाई? हम लोग का जन्म क्यों लेना पड़ रहा है? कारण हम लोग जीवन में कुछ पाने चाहते हैं। वी वांट टू बी हैप्पी, वी वांट टू एंजॉय लाइफ। अगर जीवन नहीं रहेगा तो कैसे आप जीवन को उपभोग करोगे? वी वांट टू एंजॉय द लाइफ, दैट्स व्हाई भगवान हैज गिवन इज दिस बर्थ। बट द डिफिकल्टी इज हियर वी केम टू एंजॉय, बट हियर वी आर एंडिंग इन लाइफ इन फ्रस्ट्रेशन। यहाँ पर कोई एंजॉयमेंट नहीं है, हम लोग रॉन्ग जगह में आके उपस्थित हो गया। तो भगवान इसको हमें आपके पास ले जाने के लिए वो नर रूप धारण करके आते हैं। तो भगवान को जन्म को अवतरण कहलाता है। द बर्थ ऑफ गॉड इज कॉल्ड अवतार। और दूसरा जो इंसान है उसका जन्म के जन्म कहलाते हैं। तो जो जन्म लेते हैं उसका मरण अनिवार्य है, लेकिन भगवान ना जन्म लेते ना उसका मरण होता है। डिफरेंस भगवान और हमें से डिफरेंट है।
स्वामी रामकृष्ण परमहंस की मृत्यु तो हुई होगी।
यस, ये ही इज एन अवतार। तो लाइक ही इज नॉट बोर्न, बिकॉज अवतार समझना पड़ेगा। भगवान एक अनंत है, असीम है। जो अनंत है, असीम है, वो एक मनुष्य रूप धारण करके कभी आ नहीं सकते हैं। तो भगवान का जो अवतरण का जो हम रूप देखते हैं वो एक उनका माया रूप है। पर वो माया रूप धारण करके इसलिए आते हैं ताकि उनको अवलंबन करके हम मुक्त हो सके।
मैं ये मानता
भगवान का जो जन्म है उसको कहलाता है अवतार, मनुष्य का जन्म मनुष्य होता है। यही फर्क है।
मैं ये मानता हूँ
नहीं हो सकता है।
मैं ये मानता हूँ
हाँ,
कि चाहे मनुष्य का जन्म हो या ईश्वर का अवतार हो, बचपन काल में दोनों की स्थितियां एक जैसी ही रहती हैं।
नजदीक बताएंगे, इधर आ जाओ। समझ गया ना? अवतार भगवान का जो अवतरण हुआ वो आपका अवतार हुआ, हम लोग का अवतरण जन्म हुआ। अभी बताओ।
मैं ये कह रहा हूँ जैसे ईश्वर का जन्म हुआ, अवतार हुआ, और मनुष्य का जन्म हुआ, ठीक है, दोनों के बचपन में एक जैसी और क्या कहते हैं स्थितियाँ रहती हैं। उन्होंने संघर्ष किया और संघर्ष मनुष्य के जीवन में भी रहता है, ठीक है। बावजूद इसके उनका जीवन जो होता है सार्थक हो जाता है, क्योंकि वो अपने कार्यों में सफल हो जाते हैं। और मानव के जीवन में सार्थकता नहीं आ पाती है,
जी, वेरी गुड।
वो अपने जीवन में सफल नहीं हो पाता, तो इसलिए वो अवतार कैसे हो जाते हैं, और वो केवल क्या कहते हैं उनका जन्म ही क्यों रह जाता है।
देखिए, सुनिए, आपका जो कहना है कि अवतार का जीवन सब समय सार्थक होता है, मनुष्य का जीवन व्यर्थ हो जाता है, तो मनुष्य का जीवन कैसे जिए ये दिखाने के लिए अवतार या अवतरण किया है। हिज लाइफ इज ए मॉडल, आदर्श है
जी।
वो अपने जीवन को जीते हैं ताकि हम लोग उसके जीवन को देखा देखी अपने जीवन को सार्थक कर सके। एक दृष्टांत तो स्थापन करने के लिए भगवान आते हैं। उनका जन्म, उनका सफल होने के लिए उनको कोई कारण नहीं है। ही इज गॉड, ही डज नॉट वांट एनीथिंग।
सार्थकता से मेरा तात्पर्य ये है,
उनका आने का कारण है हमें मुक्त करना।
सार्थकता से मेरा तात्पर्य ये है कि अपने द्वारा जो उद्देश्य बनाए जाते हैं अपने जीवन के, वो
हमारे लिए, उनका कोई कारण नहीं है।
नहीं, मैं भी कह रहा हूँ भगवान जो होते हैं उनके भी जीवन का उद्देश्य होता है कि इस धरती पर
नहीं,
धर्म
उनका
की
जीवन
रक्षा
का
करना।
हमें मुक्त करना, उनका जीवन को उद्देश्य हमें मुक्त करना।
लेकिन बावजूद इसके उन्होंने जब जन्म लिया था
हाँ?
तो उनका भी तो कुछ उद्देश्य रहा होगा कि इस
उनका उद्देश्य है हमें मुक्त करना, हमारा उद्देश्य हमें स्वयं को मुक्त करना।
मैं अपने पर भी आता हूँ, मानव जाति पर भी आता हूँ, पहले भगवान पर आ रहा हूँ।
इधर आओ, उनका उद्देश्य है हमें मुक्त करना, उनका कोई कारण नहीं है।
लेकिन अब मानव का ये है कि उसने जन्म ले लिया, ठीक है। जैसे कि इस इंडिया में व्यवस्था जैसे चल रही थी, ठीक है, अव्यवस्थाएं चल रही थी, हमारे महापुरुषों ने मेहनत करके इस व्यवस्था को दुरुस्त किया,
ठीक है।
जब दुरुस्त कर लिया तो क्या अवतार वो नहीं हो पाए?
नहीं
उनको अवतार नहीं माना जाएगा?
नहीं, मनुष्य कभी अवतार नहीं हो सकता। क्या मनुष्य कभी भगवान नहीं?
भगवान कौन होता है? बस यही तो।
सुनो सुनो, जो भगवान और मनुष्य के फर्क क्या है इसको पूछ रहे हो ना। हम लोग सब त्रिगुणात्मिका है, एक माया का अंडर में है, सत्य रजत तम गुण का अंडर में है। भगवान मायाधीश है, हम कभी भगवान नहीं हो सकते हैं।
चाहे कितने भी अच्छे
कितने भी ना, आप नहीं, आप कभी भगवान नहीं हो सकते।
तो भगवान ही क्यों होते हैं?
भगवान अलग है, वो मायाधीश है। भगवान हमें सृष्टि किया है। वी आर क्रिएटेड बाई गॉड, वी कैन नॉट क्रिएट गॉड। ये मान लेना पड़ेगा तुमको। नो, यू हैव टू स्ट्राइव फॉर इट। आप अगर अपने को भगवान समझोगे कभी होगा नहीं। आप अगर, आपको ज्ञान होना चाहिए, भगवान को मान लेना चाहिए। वो है हमारे सृष्टि है, वो है, ही इज द क्रिएटर, वो सृष्टि किया है। हम कभी भगवान नहीं हो सकते हैं। ठीक। हिज आइडिया इज कैन ही बिकम गॉड? आई सेड नो, इट हैज टू बी एक्सेप्टेड। ही सेड आई एम नॉट सेटिस्फाइड, ही हैज टू ट्राई फॉर इट। लेट हिम ट्राई, आई डोंट माइंड। But the fact is, why we are not God? Because we are under the spell of our this Trigunatmika Maya. Bhagavan bataya, we are under Maya, but Maya is under him, beyond him. He creates us. We are all created by God, so that we can become liberated. And secret is by holding on the divine incarnation, we can make our liberation. This is the secret thing. God has created us so that we can become liberated by taking hold of the incarnation of God. Simple matter. If you have further question, you can send by our Mr. Das has to say something. बताइए, उनको माइक दे दीजिए। आपको आने का जरूरत नहीं, बताइए। माइक में सुनाई नहीं पड़ता है। बताइए।
My humble submission is very simple question. The ultimate aim of life is Bhagavad Darshan.
Is
Ultimate aim of human life is see God. Bhagavad
God.
Darshan.
yes.
How can feel?
How can
you feel जब भगवत आ गया?
how can we believe?
How can you feel? और उसको कैसे देखेंगे? रात में, दिन में, न सपने में? हाउ कैन, मान लीजिए आ गया भगवान,
ठीक
भगवान हमारे सामने आ गया, हाउ कैन यू फील?
राइट। देखिए, हिज क्वेश्चन इज वेरी जेन्युइन। आवर goal of life is to see God. Now, if I see something, how do you know it is God and it's not God? Very simple question. अगर किसी का दर्शन हो, वो भगवान है, भूत है, कैसे पता चलेगा? पता ऐसे चलेगा जिसके बताया है कि जम लब्ध्वा चापरम लब्ध। There is a story. I have to tell you a story. Now, one person wanted to see the king of the country. So he went, and there were 7 doors. First door, and each door was manned by 2 guards, very well dressed guards, and there was a guide. He went to the first door, and the guards were very beautiful. Then he asked, "Is this God? Is he the king?" He said, "No, he is not the king. Let us go further." He went the second, again he said, "Is he the king?" No. The third, ultimately, when he came to the king, he did not ask. Is all doubts got submitted. इसीलिए the test of seeing God is vidyate hridaya granthi छिद्यन्ते सर्व संशया छिन्दन्ते सर्व कर्मणि तस्मिन् दृष्टे परावरे. When you see God, then all questions subside. You have nothing else to ask. You get merged with His divinity.
Now, what
When
is
you
the
see
shape?
God,
Now, what is the shape of God? Any male, female?
God may appear in different shapes, but when you see God, all your doubts get vanished.
Acha. Now, as Swami Vivekananda, as you know in history, he went every mandir, in church, mosque, and he asked this question: have you seen God?
Yes, yes.
Oh, but no, it is a feeling.
But when he saw Divine Mother, he didn't ask a question. His all doubts vanished.
So it is a luck.
Not luck. It is luck, but it is given by God. You have to try for it. You have to seek for it.
Yes.
Those
Then
who seek.
we have still chance.
Yes, yes.
There's still chance.
Not only chance. We'll all see God sooner or later. Depends on how soon you want to see Him.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Those who want to see Him, He'll find. Right.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
ठीक है. Now we'll close now with the chanting of the Lord. Yes. बोलून. सुनते पहले ही बोलो. अच्छा. Now his question is, ठीक है छोड़ो. ठीक है, I can understand. His question is that should he have religion or should he have spirituality? धर्म चाहिए या आध्यात्मिकता चाहिए? Now the religion has been defined by Swami Vivekananda that religion is realization. Spirituality is religion. By religion we mean some philosophy, some doctrine, some books, some rituals. These are not preliminary of religion. But ultimate goal of religion is to become spiritual. Religion is centering around one form of God, and the goal of every religion is to see God, is to reach to the divine. That is spirituality. So spirituality is the end, religion is the way. Okay? So there are various ways. Yes, there are various ways, but the end is one. Truth is one, interpretations are many. So the spirituality is one, religions are many. But all religions will end up in spirituality, that realization is same for all. When you taste ice cream and a Christian tastes ice cream, the realization is same. It doesn't depend on your religion. The feeling is same. Feeling is same. Your taste of ice cream and his taste of ice cream will be same. But way be method. So our God is one, but methods are many. Now you follow any method and it is the same goal. Follow one method. See, there is no clash. See, the clash comes when you think that I am correct and he is incorrect. That is wrong. You follow a way, reach the goal, and then you will find that all roads lead to the same goal. You take up a role, you take up a religion and follow that. That's all. We have no right to criticize others before reaching the goal. Okay, thank you. Now we end now with the chanting of the Lord. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna Hari Om Ramakrishna Hari Om Ramakrishna Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna Hari Om Ramakrishna Hari Om Ramakrishna Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna Hari Om Ramakrishna Hari Om Ramakrishna Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna Hari Om Ramakrishna Hari Om Ramakrishna Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna Hari Om Ramakrishna Hari Om Ramakrishna Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna Hari Om Ramakrishna Hari Om Ramakrishna Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna Hari Om Ramakrishna Hari Om Ramakrishna Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna Hari Om Ramakrishna Hari Om Ramakrishna Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna Hari Om Ramakrishna Hari Om Ramakrishna Hari Om. Thank you.